Hello, and welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander, Bona Adhesives.
You sure?
Yeah.
It seems like I'm Rob Johnson from the Bona Training. It seems like you forgot who you were for a second,
I
bud.
thought you were gonna butt in and say something. How we doing,
No?
Rob?
Oh, doing great, pal. Doing
I think you
great.
got some exciting news about our recode system, huh?
Oh, the whole recoat system, the deep clean system, all that stuff.
So
Oh yeah.
anybody that's doing a recoat that has a problem with stuff on the floor that you need to get it off the floor, this is going to be kind of a good episode. And sometimes this only comes up once a year or twice a year, but when it does come up, you need to know exactly what to do. So Rob, take it away.
Okay. All right, Wayne. So let's start with the products that are out for 2025.
All right, what are those?
Products that are out. The Bona Remover with an R.
Okay.
Okay, that was part of the system that we really could take off some really tough contaminants, waxes and things like that.
Yep.
The Bona Rinse is out, and that was part of that same system. That rinse would help take off the remover with an R.
Yep.
Remember I said with an R.
Technically it has two R's, but go ahead.
Okay. All right. I just want to fight you now. That's all I want to do.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And the last one that's out, excuse me, is the Bona DC Polish Remover.
Okay. So those are three products that were part of our removal system, and they're all going away.
Yes.
Why?
We need to streamline.
Yep.
I think we need to streamline. There was a lot of products that people liked using, and it was tough for distribution to have everything in stock all the time.
That's
People
five
would,
products like the stock, isn't it?
what's that?
That's a lot of products to stock.
For product, yeah, for systems that aren't, it's not like they're using the adhesives every day or the traffic every single day.
Mhm.
These are the once in a whiles. Okay.
Yeah.
So we streamlined that down. Those three products are out, but we have replacements for them that are going to be multiple use. Am I happy enough for you?
Yeah.
Is this bubbly enough for
That's
you?
pretty bubbly, but bring
Am
the
I
energy
bringing
up a
the
little,
energy?
bring the energy up a little bit more.
Little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay.
See what you can do. I
You're
know
in the
you
same room. I'd be bringing the freaking energy up. I'll tell you that. All
okay.
right. So those three are out. Bona remover, Bona rinse, Bona DC polish remover.
Okay. What's in?
So what's in? Bona remove. Bona remove.
Okay.
Notice there's no R on the end.
Yep.
All right. So the Bona remove is going to have a dual purpose. It will remove the Bona polish and the other polishes. Okay. Like I said, because we're not having the DC polish remover anymore. Now it's just plain old Bona remove.
Yeah.
Okay. And Bona deep clean. So really, I don't want to call that in. We didn't move that.
Yeah.
Okay. That chemical really hasn't changed, but it's now going to be part of that heavy contaminant removal system.
Yeah.
You follow
So,
me?
yeah.
All right.
So it's going to effectively remove, say, the acrylic maintenance coats, other known contaminants when you're preparing the floor to put, say, Traffic HD on it. And it works on all types of residential, commercial polyurethane finished wood floors, pre-finished floors, aluminum oxide floors, and honestly, great for floors with a thin wear layer that you have, sanding limitations, right?
Yes.
Good.
But you don't necessarily have to coat the floors with some of the systems. So I want to go through those systems now and really confuse the hell out of you and everybody else.
Okay.
Okay? Let me just take a sip of coffee,
Okay. And then you get going.
get myself ready here.
Okay.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So we're going to talk about 5 systems. All right.
Okay.
Do you have your notes in front of you?
I don't need them.
All right. All right. So, first system, Bona Deep Clean system. The
Yep.
Bona Deep Clean. All right. I'm just going to read quick bullets and then you can pontificate for a while. Quick and
Okay.
easy. No need to vacate the home. Safely removes dirt and grime with no harsh chemicals. Perfect for textured or wire brush floors or, those floors that textured wire brush, hand scraped,
Yeah.
distressed, all those floors.
So any floor you just want a good deep cleaning on, right? You're just going to
Yeah,
clean the floors. Okay.
yeah. And
And that,
this was always part of our building that lifetime customer system.
mhm,
You go in, you sand the floors, and we used to just, well, I did, we just walk away.
yeah.
Now we want to get in there once a year, deep clean. They get to know us 5, 6, 7 years down the road, 8 years down the road. Now you've gone in there, done a bunch of deep cleans. Now maybe it's time for a screen coat
Yep.
or a recoat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yep.
All right.
Okay. Simple enough.
Perfect. All right. Now the second system, the Bona remove and deep clean system. Okay. So this is, I'll just read the bullets and I'll talk about it. Easily removes acrylic maintenance product buildup without harming the finish. Quick and easy, no need to vacate the home. Safely removes dirt and grime with no harsh chemicals, but you do not need to coat the floor.
Okay.
Okay?
So let's say I got a pre-finished floor. I've been maintaining it for 4 or 5 years, and I have a cleaning crew come in. I don't know what they've been putting on the floor, but I can't get the floors clean like I used to. I don't want to recoat the floor. I just want to get it back to like its original luster, and that would be a way I could go about doing this, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Right. It's going to get you back down to the original finish.
perfect.
Okay.
Okay,
So on that though, we're going to be using the Bona remove and then the Bona deep clean.
yep,
So we get this a lot at schools. I bet a lot of our listeners have got this call once in a while where a homeowner gets their hand on Bona polish and misuses it. They don't read the directions, they use it as a cleaner or, however they follow it up. This is the system that will remove that type of acrylic
off the floor.
polishes, things like that. You're going to use the power scrubber, the Bona remove, and the deep clean. The power scrubber with the white brushes. Now, for as long as we're using the white brushes, we're not going to degloss the floor. We're just going to get you right back down to the original finish, and you're done. You're
Yep,
cleaning it up, and you're going.
yep.
Okay?
I said before, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, a friend's son and daughter bought a house close to me, and they had me look at the floors. It's a pre-finished floor, and the floors were kind of dirty and scuffed up and whatever. And they asked if I could do anything to help them, and I did this system on it. And it took several times doing it. I didn't get it in one time because it was just such a heavy buildup of the product. I've been using it for years and years and years. An older couple lived there, and but when it was all off, it was amazing. I mean, we got it all off there. I mean, it looked like the floors were just put in. It was amazing, but it did take some work because, as you always say, is the juice worth the squeeze? This was many years of them maintain the floor with some kind of acrylic coating, but it did get it off. And I used the power scrubber with this in conjunction with a buffer and maroon pad because it was on there so heavy. But you could tell right away what sections you were getting it off. It was actually pretty cool. So yeah, great system.
Did you recoat that?
Absolutely not. Nope. It was a what do you call it? Aluminum oxide floor. And even with the hitting with the maroon pad at first, and then the power scrubber and all that, it did not hurt the floor.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, those two systems we just talked about, one is just a deep clean, and the other is removing polish with using the remover and then rinsing everything off with a deep clean.
Okay.
No coating necessary. All right. So the next systems are going to want to coat.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So next one, Bona Prep recoat with the Bona Diamond abrasive systems. Now I know we have the net out, the net abrasives, but we're going to recommend when you're using the Bona Prep, especially in those aluminum oxide floors, that we stick with the diamonds.
Okay.
All right. So the Bona Prep and recoat with diamond abrasive systems. Here we go. Safely removes dirt and grime with no harsh chemicals.
Okay.
Fills in surface scratches and creates a fresh protective wear layer, restores sheen and luster on the floor. So for that,
Okay.
now it's funny because it's amazing how many people misuse prep.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So I want to start right off the bat. Prep is not a bonding agent. There's some chemicals out there that people clean a floor, slap this on, and it's like a glue for finishes. That's a bonding agent. Prep is not a bonding agent.
Yeah.
Okay. We clear on that?
Yep.
All
It's
right.
cleans the floor and it softens the finish a little bit. Correct.
Yes, it does two things. It's we found that it's an amazing cleaner. I mean, that's why every sport recoat we do, we hit the floor with prep because it's just a really good cleaner.
Mhm.
Really good cleaner. Gets us right down to the bare finish, and then we can abrade and we're good to go.
Okay.
Now, with what we did on residential, though, is when they came out with those real tough aluminum oxide floors, that's when we started to, need something that would soften the finish up a little bit so we could abrade the finish.
Yep.
And that's what the prep does.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yep.
let's talk about how we're going to do it. And this is where
Yeah.
people really get screwed up. Okay.
Okay.
You're going to spray prep on the floor. I like working in like 150-foot sections.
Yeah.
Spray it on the floor. Let it dwell a couple of minutes. Okay. Then hit it with a maroon pad.
Okay.
You're wet buffing with a maroon pad. Now, as soon as you're done wet buffing, you're going to take your power scrubber with the white brushes or the red brushes because we are going to be coating. So you could use the red brushes and clean that up.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to clean off that slurry. The reason I like working in the 150-foot section is you don't want that little bit of a slurry to dry
Yeah.
because then it's going to be misery to try to get it up. So you're working in 150-foot sections at a time. Now, if you don't have a power scrubber, you can use a bucket, clean towels, 50-50 prep and water mix,
Okay.
and wipe the slurry off. Okay, the key is to buff that, wet buff the prep in, wipe that slurry off, and then move on.
Yeah.
Okay, don't let it dry. Now, once that's all done, you're going to let it completely flash, air dry, whatever. Then you're going to go back with the 180 or the 240 diamonds on a regular buffer and buff the floor, clean it, tack it, do all that stuff.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Boy, you look like you're about to fall asleep on me. You okay?
I'm
You
fine.
told me to bring the energy, and you look depressed.
I'm perfectly fine. I'm interested in this.
You looks like you got
I'm
something on your mind.
no, I'm glad. I mean, I'm interested in what you got to say. Don't worry about me, pal. So the diamonds. What is there a particular grit diamond you recommend?
The 180 or the 240.
Okay.
If the floor's beat, and you got a lot of scratches,
Yeah.
um, I recommend the 180.
Them diamonds
But
are amazing.
the
Anybody's ever used them.
I was really happy that we're not getting rid of the diamonds. When I saw
Yeah.
the nets come out, I
Yeah.
thought, I hope they don't get rid of diamonds because I still really feel strongly about the diamonds,
Definitely a place for them.
and there's definitely a place for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
in sport, it's just an amazing product because it just goes so far. A set of diamonds will do 3,000 feet. Three
Can you?
diamonds on a double stack maroon pad
Wow,
will abrade 3,000 foot of a clean gym.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So let's stop here for just a minute. Um, what to charge for something like this? And we don't tell anybody what to charge and this, that, and the other. But if I'm talking to a homeowner and they have an aluminum oxide floor, I want to explain to them that here's the deal here. Aluminum oxide is the fourth hardest substance known to man. Okay, that's what's in this finish. In order to get a finish to bond, you really got to make sure you get a good abrasion on this. Okay, and so this is a process, and it takes specialized equipment. It takes specialized sanding. I can't just go out and get sandpaper at Home Depot or Lowe's or your typical sandpaper off the shelf to do this. The sandpaper has to do a lot of different things, and one of it is put a scratch in the floor without putting such an aggressive scratch in the floor that you're going to see it when I'm done. So there's a lot of processes to this. I have to bring in a power scrubber and do these different things, blah blah. So like you said, you don't have to use a power scrubber, but I'm going to explain this in detail. And I think people think, oh well, if I charge, I'm just going to throw a number out there, $3 a square foot to sand and refinish. And believe me, I know people right now go $3. Where the hell's he at? But I'm just saying, people think that well, you can't charge close to that for a recoat because you're not bringing in this 220 sanders and this, that, and the other. But I think this is where the education comes into the clients, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the other part to this Bona prep system is our recommendation for coating is with Traffic HD.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, when you're talking about what we're going to charge for a recoat, right off the bat, you got to know what your costs are,
Yeah.
your material costs, because you're using Traffic HD, you're using diamonds, and you're using prep. So you're using all top of the line stuff here.
Yeah.
So, you know,
So
I and
you're bringing into the house a few different things. You're bringing in the products, right? The right
mhm.
products. You know what I mean? The proper products for the job, but you're also bringing in your experience. And that counts for a lot too. That you're doing the job the proper way. And I really think that, man, it's so communication is more important than it ever has been. When so many consumers are leery of they've had bad contractors in the past. Maybe they had a fence built and the guy didn't build the fence properly, and then he had the roof put on, and then shingles came off or whatever down the road. Now it's your turn to do the floors. I think it's more important than ever. I seen some horrendous framing on a house in Texas not long ago. Just absolutely, just no conscience whatsoever. So you can understand why a consumer would be kind of on guard. So that's why I really think the communication of just step by step, this aluminum oxide and blah blah blah, and take them through the whole thing, and then you can really justify your price, and then this can really be a great opportunity for the craftsman out there.
um I do want to touch on the diamonds, and this was one of the reasons that I was happy we're not getting rid of the diamonds when they brought the net out. A good buddy of mine called me one time, and we he had a gym problem, a real tough gym problem, and it was it wasn't of course when it has a problem, it was a 40,000 foot gym. It was a new gym. I might even talked about this before. It was a new gym down in New York City. It was a huge 1 million square foot facility for NYPD training. Okay, it
Mhm.
was their new training facility.
Oh,
So and like I said, they had a 40,000 foot gym. Well, the product that was installed, and there's some of this stuff coming out now. It was a pre-sealed gym floor. So you install the gym floor, screen it, put your game lines down, and you're off to the races. And then, you put a couple coats of finish down. Well, they're using like ceramic or aluminum oxide. It was just unbelievable.
yeah,
And he called me up and he's like, I can't screen this floor. He goes, literally cannot screen this floor. He goes,
yeah,
I go 8 feet and the grits are peeling off of the screen. The floor was clean. We
yeah.
didn't really have to do any cleaning or anything. We just kind of put the prep on it a little, softened it up. But these diamonds was the key to this. I
Wow.
mean, he was absolutely blown away. I kind of was too, because we could not believe how hard that pre-sealed floor was.
Wow.
And these diamonds just cut through it like really like knife through warm butter. So it was or what do they call that? Is that a hot knife through cold
Yeah.
butter?
Hot knife through cold butter. Yeah.
Hot knife through butter?
Yeah.
You know the deal.
Yeah.
It worked unbelievable.
You ever find yourself in another situation like that, you can always call me.
Well, he called me and I was the hero.
Okay.
Okay. I was the hero. I know you
Yeah.
always want to be the hero, but
No, no, no.
I was a hero on this.
Nice.
Okay.
That's great.
It was all me. Believe me.
Hmm.
All me. You ever see a 40,000 foot gym?
I don't know if I ever have. It seems like I was one. I can't. It
Yeah.
looked like four
Let
gyms
me
in
tell you
one.
something. When you're on one end of the room and there's somebody at the other side, they look
Yeah.
kind of small.
God, I bet, man. I
It
can't.
was nuts.
I can't even imagine standing a 40,000 square foot gym floor, man. That's a whole nother level.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Long
crazy.
way across that. A lot of thoughts go through your head from one end of that wall to the other on a sander.
Exactly. So, our recommended coat for this is the Traffic HD.
Yep.
Okay. And the reason that we always recommend Traffic with these systems is
But you fall
nothing
asleep.
sticks. No, no, no. Nothing sticks better to a
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, really, nothing sticks better. Our good
Yeah.
buddy Lenny Hall, when he's bending wood, he likes to use Traffic
Yeah.
just to hold the pieces together
Yeah.
because he says it's just
So
an
strong.
amazing product. Yeah, so
And
strong.
people think we're just saying that or whatever. They, oh, maybe I can use something else, whatever. We're not, we're saying that for a reason. Rob's right, man. It is unbelievable how well that it bonds. So got a bill? You looking for a bill, aren't you?
I gave myself a bell.
Yeah.
Rob's right.
Yeah.
Rob's right.
So it really is important that
Boom.
traffic is part of that system and is used as part of that the recode system. Good stuff, man.
So that was the Bona Recoat system
Yep.
using prep. The
Can I ask you a
Bona
question?
prep recoat with the diamond abrasive systems.
Okay.
Yes,
Are
ask
we
away.
are we still using that brush? The
Oh, yeah, I'm coming home, baby.
okay.
I'm
Good.
bringing it home.
Okay. Got
Okay?
ahead of you. Sorry.
So, really nothing has really changed as far as our recoat systems.
Yeah.
Like in training, I always say we have three recoat systems. One, you can go in and screen the floor and roll the dice, okay? Two, you can take a little bit of an insurance policy and use the prep system
Yep.
just in case. And then three, all right, now we're going to talk about the Bona Recoat system. And this, you ready?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to read the bullets on it. Safely removes dirt, grime, and acrylic maintenance coatings. fills in surface scratches and creates a fresh protective wear layer, restores sheen and luster. So this is the system that we're going to use when we're tackling those really tough recoat jobs. Those ones that have bit all of us using those certain contaminants that I'm not allowed to say, or Wayne's going to get all ticked off again if I say it.
Yeah.
I'll have to start everything over again.
Yes. Don't have to
But
use
this is, I
expletive.
can't, you know, this is going to remove those acrylic waxes, regular wax. This is going to remove all those bad contaminants that, you know, and
So,
one of the ways that you're going to know right away, I mean, there's all sorts of ways to test and everything for different waxes and things like that. But I think the best test is just throwing the mm, starting to abrade the floor, and you start seeing things getting all clogged up and everything. Now you know it's time to use one of these systems.
yeah. Well, everybody goes into a screening recoat, and that screening is almost an old technology now, dead technology. But when someone goes in there to do a recoat and the screen or paper starts to gum up right away, that's a problem. There's something on that floor. And I think further investigation needs to be done, or a different system or process needs to be in play. So that brush you're talking about goes on the buffer, right? And if I'm going to do the job, I would use the Bona Remove and put it out there in a slurry and let it dwell for a while and then put the brush on it. Is that correct?
This one you don't have to really let it dwell. Okay.
Okay.
I mean it's not gonna hurt,
Okay.
but you don't have to because what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay this out, we're gonna roll this out, the bone remove.
Hmm.
All right. Same thing that I talked about with the prep. You're gonna work in about a 150-foot section.
And what are they putting on that on with a roller?
Roll it.
Yeah.
Roll that on.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna take it seems like you got really excited about that abrasive brush.
Well, we can't leave it out. It's an important part of the process.
It's huge, right?
Yeah.
That's the first time you've smiled the whole show, just talking about that abrasive brush. Look at you.
I'm happy as hell right now.
You are very happy because we're talking about your brush. Yeah. So this abrasive brush, if you haven't seen it, kind of looks like Tampico brush on steroids. All right. This abrasive brush is a 120 grit abrasive brush. So that is going to help agitate that mess that you've got on the floor. Once again, we're going to work in that 150-foot area, okay? Because this is going to be a hell of a slurry, and you don't want that slurry to dry. So we're going to roll that out, hit it with the abrasive brush, really buff it in good. Take the power scrubber with the Bona Deep Clean and the red brushes on the power scrubber. Excuse me. The red brushes on the power scrubber and scoop everything off. Okay. Now, the deal is you might have to do this a few times. All right. Even when we were talking about just removing the polish and not doing any coating, I've talked to people that have had to go through the process 3 or 4 times, depending on how much polish or acrylic wax or contaminant is on the floor. So you got to be very careful that you're not just thinking, hey, this is a one and done. Now we go back to you talking about how to price this out.
That's very, very important because you're getting into a bit of an unknown. You don't know the history of this floor. The homeowner probably doesn't know the history of this floor, or if they do, you're not going to get the whole story, or they don't know exactly what, I mean, how important it is, things that they're leaving out, or not intentionally, maybe they just have no idea. But that's when we say cleaning the floor, I mean, this could come up where it takes a couple times to do this. And yeah, you're absolutely right. So you need to charge for it. You're doing a huge service for the clients.
Exactly. And it's nothing different than we've run into when we're sanding floors. I mean, how many times have you gone in, did an
Yeah.
estimate, look like, oh man, 50, 80. This can be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
120, I'll be out of there. Boom. And then all of a sudden, your paper starts clogging
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, well, didn't see this coming. And how
Right.
many times does that happen? Or, the other ways too, sometimes it's like, oh my God, this is going to be forever. And it comes
Goes
right
on.
off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we go back to what we talk about in the school. This is a craft. This
Yep.
isn't, we're not ripping out old wire and putting in new. I mean,
Yep.
that's, this is, you just don't know. So I'm glad that you touched on the money part of it because you gotta have a little leeway in there.
Yeah.
You got to be able to protect yourself on this.
Yeah.
And like I said, these systems work, but
You
it's
know,
not an exact science. I can't tell you how many times you're going to have to do it.
here's the other thing too. If anybody in the old days that used to brush on their polyurethane, their oil-based poly with a 6-inch brush, if you've ever like left the brush out or the brush got hard or whatever because you didn't clean it properly or whatever, you used to go to one of the big box stores and buy this product that you could pour the water or pour not water, pour this product on your brushes, let it soak, and it would start dissolving all that poly, even the hardened, nasty poly that was hardened, it would start to dissolve it. Then you would take a brush comb and start brushing it. It was a nightmare to do, but you could salvage the brush by doing that. Okay. Reason I say that, in the past, this was the type of product you would have to put on the floor to get rid of all that nasty stuff. That we have it now. It's non-flammable. And it doesn't have those nasty, nasty chemicals and chemical smell that those other products had. And it's saving them from a recoat, excuse me, a sand and refinish. So, which a sand and refinish, by the way, if you're pricing this job, okay, so uh they can do this recoat, or they can sand and refinish an aluminum oxide floor, which is no picnic, as you pointed out. So if you look at the cost difference, it's not just sanding a floor versus this, it's sanding an aluminum oxide floor, which I hope we're all charging a whole lot more money for. So I think this is a really, really a nice system. I love that we're paring down the products. I mean, seems like companies are trying to streamline as much as they can. And we recognize this will be a good for our distributor partners too, to pare down from all those products down to a couple. And then really it's just one, because deep clean has always been there. So now we're just using, Bona remove and deep clean. That can do so much. So beautiful.
Well, the remove has always been there too.
Yeah. Why did they
That
take
that
the R
was
off it?
what's that?
Why did they take the R off the end of it?
Um, because
Right.
it's a dual. It used to be called Bona DC polish remover.
Okay.
Okay, and then for the recoat system, it was called remover.
Okay.
Okay, so now
It's
it's
removed.
not DC polish remover anymore. It's just
Yeah.
remove, and
Yeah.
it
I
it
like it.
it does the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Does the same thing.
Good. Cool.
Okay. Now, when you're all done with that, um, when you're done with this system, all right. So just to give a quick recap. So we
Yeah.
go in, we roll it out 500 feet, or I'm sorry, it's 500 feet a gallon, but you want to work in like 150-foot sections at a time.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to roll out 150 of the remove, hit it with the abrasive brush on a buffer. Excuse me. Hit it with abrasive brush on the buffer. Take your power scrubber, rinse it out. All right. Using the Bona Deep Clean, red pads, get that slurry up off of the floor.
Okay.
Okay. And then move on.
Yeah.
Now, with this system, because we're using that 120 abrasive brush, you don't have to abrade the floor.
Okay.
Okay. The only reason you might want to abrade the floor is if you got a lot of scratches and you want to work some of those scratches out. All right. So you don't have to abrade the floor like you do with the prep system,
Yeah.
because we got pretty nasty with it with the 120 abrasive brush.
Yeah. I tell you, I would just keep the Bona diamonds with me on the truck at all times. I've just fallen in love with them for any kind of recoats. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to have them on a job just because. The other thing too is when I said that the other products that would be used for this in the past, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we those nasty, nasty chemicals and everything. These are also Green Guard Gold certified, the Bona Remove and the deep clean solution. So another thing for your clients that you can do this, less harmfully than in years past.
Yes. All fall under the green guard. Yes,
Yeah.
they do. And of course, once again, we recommend coating with the Traffic HD. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So those are the systems. Traffic HD is always recommended when we're doing recoats just because you're just going to have better luck with a Traffic HD type product
Yeah.
or raw or anti-slip or
Yep.
you know the deal.
Yep.
So, like I said, we streamlined it, okay? Some of the products now are going to have a dual responsibility where it's part of our recoat system, but also part of the polish remover system. Um, so I think it's going to be good. I mean,
Yeah.
we always talk about these things at the school, and actually, I always try to do hands-on. I like to cut some time out of adhesives so I can do more of this.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So I can do the recoat systems. I no, I wouldn't
We
cut
don't even teach
adhesives.
adhesives at the schools till I show up.
But it is something that if you do attend a Bona training, if it's going to be one of my trainings, you, I always try to make time to get the power scrubber out there and just do a little hands-on because you talk about it so much, but the other thing, you got the Bona YouTube, we got the e-learning platform and everything, and we just got tons and tons of videos on how to use this because there's the thing I want to just talk a little bit about is there is such a specific way we want you to do this, and I'm always talking about, hey, we're craftsmen and we're not going to really do everything the same. Well, the process like this, we kind of want you to stick to the process because we know it works. I mean, I just talked to a guy today who told me how he was doing the prep system and and he said, it's always worked for me, man. I love this and da 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 da. And I said, yeah, you're doing it completely wrong.
Yeah.
And we just started cracking up,
Mhm.
and I've been with gym guys who, oh, I love the prep. And, I prepped the hell out of this floor. And I was like, yeah, you're doing it wrong. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so, watch the videos, read the directions, come to the schools, call your call your TM, call me. I'll go over it. I'll go over the system with you because I have seen this stuff work. We've started to do, those 2-day recode schools and these systems when you follow the directions work. I mean it does it works. It's just some people have some problems because they're not using this stuff correctly. Or, this guy I talked to this afternoon, he was just in the completely wrong sequence. It was like but him and I both had a good laugh about that. I'm like, well, I appreciate you using it, but
Yeah. Well, you had a couple of schools, or at least one school last year, where you tried to screw up a floor by putting every known product known to ban that you're not supposed to put on the floor, and then use the power scrubber and these same products to remove them, right?
yeah, and we're calling them recode schools, and we're gonna have a few more of them this year because
Yeah.
last year, man, I think we did 3 last year, and once people started hearing about it, everybody wanted to sign up for it and everything because there are a lot of people that I think there's a lot of people that, one time or another have been burned by, doing a recoat and not getting all the contaminants off completely. And now, we've got a few systems to really help you battle that contaminant, as Wayne would call them, those bond breakers,
There you go.
the bond breakers.
Yep. All right, Rob. Well, that's good stuff, man, and progress for us. So anytime we've come out with a lot of new products in the last 5 years, and this is another way of is just not necessarily a new product, but streamlining a process to make things a whole lot easier. So appreciate it, Rob. Thanks for all the great knowledge. I learned something here, so thank you. And this has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. Please stay tuned for another episode.